Tonight on the Northwestern News Report.
21 days until the polls close, what students are doing to get out the vote.
2 congressional candidates face off in a policy debate.
And October gets a little spooky.
All those stories and so much more.
Coming up on the Northwestern News Report, it's your news right now.
Good evening and welcome to the Northwestern News Report. I'm Jesse Kirsch.
And I'm Isa Gutierrez. Thanks for joining us. Election Day is exactly 3 weeks away.
And that means Northwestern students on both sides of the aisle are ramping up their efforts to get out the vote. Here's NNN's Meredith Sonnefeld.
Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky joined Hillary Clinton supporters Thursday in a classroom on the 3rd floor of the McCormick Foundation Center.
This is the most important thing that you can be doing in life right now.
The Congresswoman who represents Evanston told the students that the efforts volunteers make on the ground will decide the 2016 election. Northwestern College Democrats recently led a phone bank. This is only a small example of the group's larger campaign. These students also traveled to Iowa to canvass door-to-door for Clinton. But Republicans on campus say their job is more difficult. College Republican Secretary of Events Grant Papastefan says the organization struggles with infighting over their nominee.
I think it's a shame that we can't really go out and hardcore campaign for this candidate like we would normally because he's so divisive.
Because the group does not agree on a presidential candidate, Papastefan says many members are working on campaigns on their own.
So I'd say personally my efforts to get out the vote are mostly involved with that campaign. I don't know how many hundreds of doors I've knocked on and how many phone calls I've made.
Congresswoman Schakowsky says she loves to see this kind of student involvement in the election.
There's no question that grassroots activism really makes the difference.
Meredith Sonnefeld, Northwestern News Report.
Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky is running for re-election on November 8th. She's been U.S. Representative for Illinois' 9th District since 1999.
Tonight, Steve Haggerty becomes the 3rd Evanston mayoral candidate as he officially kicks off his campaign at the Hilton Garden Inn. NNN's Eric Miller joins us live from where Haggerty's announcement just wrapped up in downtown Evanston. Eric, what sort of tone did Haggerty strike tonight?
Well, Jesse, Haggerty struck a really community-oriented tone with a lot of his statements. One of the things that he really stressed was that he wants to help bring Evanston together to make it stronger. Now, he talked about a couple of different points during his announcement. He wants to continue a lot of the policies that Mayor Tisdall, the current Evanston mayor, has undertaken. He particularly wants to tackle gun control and gun violence and wants to continue efforts fighting climate change. He also stressed that Evanston needs to find new revenue streams. He said that Evanston has some of the highest taxes anywhere in Illinois, and that that's obviously a major burden for a lot of the citizens here. He also stressed that he's going to make this campaign extremely inclusive for the community in that he's hiring a lot of Evanston-based firms and a lot of firms that represent minority interests within Evanston.
All right, thank you, Eric. We'll bring you more on this mayoral election as it develops.
The 10th District congressional candidates met over the weekend for a debate that covered issues ranging from Social Security to Planned Parenthood. NNN's Michelle Beck was at the debate.
Thanks, Issa. Recent polls show Congressman Bob Dole and Brad Schneider are in the midst of a close race. During a recent campaign, they fought to make their campaigns clear and distinct, hoping to earn that one extra vote. Republican Bob Dole and Democrat Brad Schneider made a visit this Sunday to Lake Forest, where the topics were guided by the audience. Audience members came from all over the 10th District to the debate hosted by the League of Women Voters of the Lake Forest-Lake Bluff area. The district's population is mostly middle-aged. Social Security was one of their main concerns. Dole spoke about a bipartisan approach to preserving Social Security, emphasizing the need to reach across the aisle.
The solution going forward is how do we come together? How do we come together, Republicans and Democrats, to make sure that Social Security and Medicare are going to be solvent, not just for 10 or 15 years, but for the next 75 years?
Dole focused on raising the age cap, while Schneider said that raising the retirement age is unjust.
This is just not the right way to go. What I do believe we can do for Social Security is provide incentives for people who choose to and can work longer to do so.
Elliot Hartstein, a former mayor of Buffalo Grove, said the clear difference was in the candidates' styles of response.
Brad, in listening to his answering of the questions, was clear and crisp and answered the question. Mr. Dold, on the other hand, just sort of danced around the issue and said, well, I might consider this, I might consider that, but I certainly, we can't take the age off the table.
Although Congressman Dold speaks clearly of bipartisanship, some of his constituents still remain unsure about the actions he will take if he is reelected. Michelle Beck, Northwestern News Report.
We'll continue to bring you coverage of the 10th District candidates as the November 8th election comes closer.
In campus news, the university created its Black Student Experience Task Force a year ago this November. NNN's Bria Kalpin talked to the task force about what changes Northwestern may need.
Northwestern is known for its academics and award-winning faculty, but for many Black students, having a strong academic experience isn't enough. Many Black students feel Northwestern lacks safe spaces for their community to gather and fails to address the issue of race by staying silent on issues of social injustice. The 11 administrators and 4 students who make up the Black Student Experience Task Force conducted research on social experiences within the Black community at Northwestern. Leslie Ann Brown Henderson, Campus Inclusion and Community Executive Director and Chair of the task force, says Black students reported that oftentimes they felt out of place on campus.
The entire campus as a whole didn't feel like a space for them, right? That there was specific spaces that they felt like, but the campus itself didn't feel like theirs as much as it might feel like for other students.
A lack of adequate communal safe spaces on campus for Black students is what third-year student and task force member Gwen Gissendaner says contributes to the discomfort.
The social experience is really, really confined when you don't have that space. Like having the physical space to meet would make such a difference when it came to fellowship.
The Black House is one of those physical spaces where Black student groups can congregate and engage in community dialogue. But last year, it was almost turned into an office. Students like Gissendaner believe that this decision took away the only refuge for the Black community, and in order for their voices to be heard, they had to protest.
The boiling point that led to those protests were not specifically just about no social outlets. It was about watching outside things, outside issues of police brutality, systematic racism that so many students felt helpless to and felt that the administration was not responding to.
To ensure that the university is more sensitive to the Black social experience on and off campus, the task force established several trends from its research. For example, the task force found that not all Black students experience Wildcat Welcome and the Greek community as welcoming. These findings may draw attention to the issue. However, Brown Henderson says it's going to take more than just a task force and a report to make a difference.
For us to improve the Black student experience or Black student satisfaction, it has to go beyond campus inclusion, it has to go beyond student affairs. It has to be a campus-wide effort. So every student, every faculty member, every administrator, every alumni has to be involved and committed to pushing this forward.
Bria Kalpin, Northwestern News Report.
All right, thank you, Bria. For more detailed information on the task force's findings, you can look at the entire report online at northwestern.edu on the Campus Inclusion and Community page.
Coming up, a recent campus report leads to conversation. Plus,
I'm Meredith Sonnefeld, and after the break, I'll have your 5-day weather forecast.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Cheer you all to go. Go you Northwestern, fight for the sweet victory, for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
At Northwestern. Northwestern University, we are pioneering innovation and achieving excellence across every imaginable discipline. At Northwestern University, the possibilities are endless.
Let's take a look at your 5-day weather forecast. It was a warm day in Evanston today, but this week we'll be jumping right back into fall weather. Wednesday will be partly cloudy with a high of 65 and a low of 55 degrees. Thursday we might see some morning showers and we'll have a high of 58 and a low of 46. To start off the weekend, Friday will be partly cloudy and a chilly 52 degrees with a low of 42. For homecoming on Saturday, we'll see another partly cloudy day, this time 59 degrees as the high and 48 low. Make sure to bundle up for the game. To close off the weekend, Sunday will be sunny and a little bit warmer with a high of 63 and a low of 49 degrees. I'm Meredith Sonnefeld, and this has been your 5-day weather forecast.
The number of rapes reported at Northwestern has more than doubled in the last 2 years, according to the school's annual security report. NNN's Kara Stevick has more.
In 2014, the number of reported rapes was 3, but over the following year, there were 8 such reports. In 6 of the 8 cases in 2015, both the survivor and the assailant were students. Sexual health and peer educators, or SHAPE director Molly Benedict, says the majority of rape victims know their attackers.
A lot of the time there's this myth that I'm too smart to get raped. And that's just a huge part of rape culture and this process of victim blaming, that if an assault does happen to you, then you did something wrong. You weren't thinking far enough ahead.
Erin Clark, Assistant Director of the Center for Awareness, Response, and Education, also known as CARE, echoed Benedict, saying sexual misconduct is never a victim's fault.
It's not about how smart you are. It's not about how careful you were. It's never someone's fault. It's always on the perpetrator. So I would immediately, I think, we need to challenge that and think about the fact that it's just never the victim's fault or the person who experienced the violence's fault.
Joan Slavin, the director of the Office of Sexual Harassment Prevention and a Title IX coordinator, said in an email to NNN there are a number of ways members of the NU community can report incidents of sexual assault. In addition to being reported to campus or local police, sexual misconduct could be reported to the university by contacting the Sexual Harassment Prevention Office, by filing an online reporting form located on the Sexual Misconduct website, or by sending an email to title9report@northwestern.edu. Students may also discuss sexual misconduct incidents confidentially with resources such as CARE or CAPS. The university has also recently updated its definition of consent.
Some people say consent is sexy. I think consent is a bare minimum. It starts a consent, but it should be an enthusiastic consent.
Kara Stevick, Northwestern News Report.
Both Slavin and Clark hope to see expanded training and prevention programming for students in the future. Next, we'll take a look at how a national controversy is affecting our local community.
At Northwestern, we're wildcats in every way.
Northwestern break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all to go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
Northwestern University, we are pioneering innovation and achieving excellence across every imaginable discipline. At Northwestern University, the possibilities are endless.
Next tonight, a newly released film has caused controversy that goes beyond the screen. NNN's Carlin McCarthy has more.
Birth of a Nation, a film directed by Nate Parker, had a disappointing opening earlier this month, failing to top the box office. The film, which focuses on the slave rebellion led by Nat Turner, has been surrounded by controversy. Prior to the film's release, Parker revealed that in 1999, a female student at Pennsylvania State University reported Parker and his roommate raped her while she was unconscious and intoxicated. Parker was later found not guilty. Aditi Marisetti, an Evanston resident, says the allegations should be taken seriously, but not reflect on the film.
What he did was absolutely wrong, and that's, he should definitely be punished for it, and there should be a lot of, scrutiny on him. That should be separated maybe from what's actually going on in the movie and the social message.
Mariah Weems, however, thinks the film and Parker's past should be considered separately.
Well, I believe that he's paid his consequences for, his actions then, but those are two separate things in my opinion.
Miriam Petty, a School of Communication assistant professor who saw the film, says scenes of rape are hard to disconnect from the allegations against Parker and his roommate, a co-writer on the film.
That really, really complicates why rape figures so prominently in the film. It really complicates how rape works plot-wise in the film. There's a way that they're not really separable on a certain level.
Megan Blomquist, the director of education and training at Rape Victim Advocates, says when sexual assault cases reach the national level, the city of Chicago reacts strongly.
Here in Chicago, when there is any high-profile celebrity, sports figure, actor that is accused of sexual assault, the city gets torn apart.
However, for Blomquist, focusing on finding the causes of rape is most important.
Getting down to that root cause of the problem, which is why are we creating rapists in the environment that we have?
While there are mixed feelings on the film, Birth of a Nation is currently playing in theaters nationwide. Carlin McCarthy, Northwestern News Report.
Thank you, Carlin. If you or anyone you know has been sexually assaulted and wants to seek help, more information on Rape Victim Advocates can be found at rapevictimadvocates.org or by calling their Rape Crisis Hotline at 1-888-293-2080.
On campus, Northwestern's Sexual Health and Assault Peer Educators, or SHAPE, talked about rape culture with students Thursday night. The event grappled with topics like sexual assault, rape jokes, and how students can help create a safer environment on campus. Organizers also took on the media's role in rape culture, discussing the recently leaked tape of Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump boasting about sexual assault in private. SHAPE Outreach Chair Amanda O'Daz says peer education provides an important outlet for these conversations.
People listen in a different way when they're talking to their own friends. So one of my favorite things about being a member of SHAPE is the ability that I have then to be there for my friends and to be that person who they know they can go to immediately, who has the information and who can connect them to resources.
SHAPE plans to hold these events throughout the quarter, including a panel on reproductive health this Thursday.
Still to come tonight, a Spartan battle more exciting than the Battle of Thermopylae. Stay tuned.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Northwestern break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all to go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, spread for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
At Northwestern University, we are pioneering innovation and achieving excellence across every imaginable discipline. At Northwestern University, the possibilities are endless.
Alex, last week was tough. My Saturday felt so empty without Wildcat football.
Issa, I know the bye might have been tough on religious football fans like you, but the week off might have been just what the Cats needed. Remember, just a month ago, Northwestern lost 9-7 against FCS opponent Illinois State. The thought that the Cats could score more than 50 points in a game, it was unimaginable. Well, a lot's changed since then. A rough first quarter for the Cats, who fell behind 14-0, but Justin Jackson puts them back on track, a 29-yard rush into the end zone before Clayton Thorson comes up big. Who else? Austin Carr, corner of the end zone. Cats all of a sudden within 3, less than a minute later. A sack in the end zone for a safety. Cats within 1, and then Clayton Thorson, Flynn Nagel, 57 yards. All of a sudden, the Wildcats have all the momentum, but this one's not over yet. Tyler O'Connor, what is your profession? It's quarterback, 59 yards, caught after the tip. And if you thought the Spartans were warriors, you're convinced now, because Connor again, 86 yards. Just seconds later, though, Solomon Vault, my oh my, 86 yards. He goes all the way end zone to end zone. He ain't looking back. Neither are the Cats, who'd seal the victory. But let's check out one more. You know the story. Thorson, Carr, corner. It's caught, 47 yards. The Cats take it 54-40. That's right, 54 points. And after a month away, Northwestern finally returns to Ryan Field this weekend to take on Indiana at homecoming. But unlike football, it wasn't a shootout for everyone. In fact, field hockey had quite the defensive battle. Now, starting off, you can see some 6 saves for Northwestern, but finally in the 19th minute, Northwestern able to come away with 1 and get their first goal. Indiana, though, Iowa would match it and tied it 1-1, and then some opportunities late for the Wildcats, who can't put it in net, sends the game into overtime, where finally Iowa is able to come away with the 2-1 victory. And the Cats return back home Friday afternoon and look to rebound against Michigan. And so we've seen a shootout. We've seen overtime, but we're saving perhaps the most exciting game of the week for last. Let's roll men's soccer. So just over 2 minutes left here in the regulation. It's in the box. Rutgers is trying to clear, but Brandon Medina knocks it into the corner, sends this one to overtime. The ball is up. There's a scramble, but then Northwestern puts it in, and the Cats steal the 2-1 victory. Too much this week to fit into one show, guys, this week, so make sure to tune in Sports Night Thursday at 7.
All right, thanks, Alex. We'll be watching.
Coming up next, a Halloween tradition takes a turn for the worst.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Go Northwestern, and break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all the go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
At Northwestern University, we are pioneering innovation and achieving excellence across every imaginable discipline. At Northwestern University, the possibilities are endless.
Finally tonight, usually October is a mix of tricks and treats.
But this fall, some clowns are only in it for the scares. NNN's Olivia Reiner has more.
With Halloween around the corner, most people are used to seeing freaky lawn decorations and costumes in stores. However, the month of October has reached a new level of scary as people are reporting clown sightings across the nation, accusing these characters of terrorism.
We've never dealt with anything like this before, so just kind of a weird epidemic.
Margot Hintz, a part-time worker at Boys Town costume store Hollywood Mirror, doesn't believe that the hysteria has hurt business.
It doesn't keep us from selling clown stuff. Like I've sold a few things to people in the past 2 weeks. That, some people have bought some clown wigs, some people have bought the big clown shoes, striped socks, the whole 9 yards.
The hysteria only seems to be increasing the appeal of dressing as a clown for Halloween, according to Hollywood Mirror's Frank Heafield.
People have been buying clown costumes left and right. There was a guy in here saying he's one of the crazy clowns, so I was like, well, go buy a costume.
In just a couple weeks, downtown streets will be filled with young trick-or-treaters. But in light of the recent clown hysteria, community officials are cracking down. The Evanston Police Department is no stranger to enforcing safety on Halloween.
We cancel days off on Halloween to begin with, so we have pretty much everybody here, especially during the trick-or-treating hours.
Commander Dugan and his colleagues consider all clown threats as serious matters, including those made online and on social media.
We find out even if that threat's a prank, that person's going to be in trouble.
While Halloween is meant to bring joy to Chicago locals, this season, the holiday will be tinged with a bit of caution. Olivia Reiner, Northwestern News Report.
Not clown. So I'm definitely not being a clown this year, I'll tell you that right now.
But Jesse, you're a clown every year.
I thought every day.
Every
no?
day,
Oh, there
every
you go.
day.
Yeah, she can't even make fun of me properly.
Well, Jesse, you do scare me every day, so
Thank you, Mr. Lemon. Well, in all seriousness, I think I'm going to be Tommy Pickles from the Rugrats this year.
Oh,
got a little crew together.
throwback.
Yeah, very excited about that.
Amazing.
Especially the part where I can wear a diaper at 21.
You're going for that?
Oh yeah, blue t-shirt, diaper, giant baby bottles can be great.
That's amazing. I'm gonna be a black cat. I'm boring. I'm sorry. Go Cats.
Go Cats, can't argue with that.
Well, I'm going to be a Spartan, and maybe you can beat me in football, Lisa.
Okay.
Big football fan like you.
That's going to do it for us Thursday, Sports Night and Politicat.
I'm Isa Gutierrez. Thanks for joining us.
I'm Alex Letterman for sports.
And I'm Jesse Kirsch. Go out and make it a good one.